And so for those people who really cannot adjust themselves and make that transition, where they think that there is a conflict of interest, then they have a number of options. Principally, they can request conscientious objector, which you may remember, which has two categories. Either those who simply, I cannot serve in any institution that would be responsible for taking the life of a human being and be discharged honorably from the service. Or they can enter into a conscientious objector status where I will not serve in a combat position.
And I mean, what is the frequency of that? Does it happen a lot?
In my experience, it hasn't happened a lot, but I have handled some cases that have dealt with it. And not just from our community, but across the board.
And let me ask you, during the first Gulf War, was that your first time going to Saudi Arabia or in the Arabian area?
It was.
Okay, did you make Hajj or make Umar when you were there?
Didn't have the opportunity where I was. I think the brothers in the Red Sea had that opportunity.
Right.
I was in the Gulf. We didn't have that same opportunity.
But since that time, have you been able to make Hajj and Umrah?
I will, inshallah, make Hajj as we are required to do, but I'll sneak up on it. Okay. Every time I say it out loud, something happens in the world, scheduling problems.
Well, we hope, inshallah, to see you, see you again. And, your Muslim brothers and sisters in Saudi Arabia and around the world will be happy and pleased to meet you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm here with my brother in Islam from the United Kingdom, Shahid Malik, who is an MP, elected official there. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam.
Yaqi, just tell me a bit about yourself, and the Muslims there of the UK.
Okay. Well, Muslims in the UK are about 1.8 million, 3% of the population.
Yes.
We've done, educationally we're not doing too well. In prisons we're doing very well. It's a sad story, but in politics, alhamdulillah, we've started to do well. We've got 4 British Muslim parliamentarians, members of parliament.
Yes.
It's 4 us all together, which is quite significant to say that prior to 97 there wasn't a single one. So we've got members of parliament, we've got influence in government, in Downing Street. We haven't got total influence, but we have some influence.
Right, now
some people argue we've got too much influence.
Is this your first term as MP?
I was elected at the general election in May 2005, and I'm elected for a 4 or 5 year term.
Okay. And were the Muslims supportive of you in your run for MP?
In my constituency, in my district,
yes,
about 18% of the population is Muslim. And I would say it's a fair bet that the vast majority of those people did vote for me. But ultimately, the majority of people who voted for me were non-Muslims, because 82% of the constituency is non-Muslim. And I'm very careful in my role, as my other colleagues are as well, that we're not seen as just representing Muslims, but everybody in our constituency. I think that's my kind of Muslim duty.
But let me ask you, what specifically, I mean, in your position, how are you able to help the Muslims in your area?
Well, if you look at what this government has done in the UK so far, we've got, for example, Muslim chaplains in our prisons for the first time, Muslim chaplains in our hospitals for the first time. We've got state-funded, so the government funds Muslim schools. Never had that before. All the members of parliament that are in parliament at the moment are all from the Labour Party, the Labour government. We've got the first Muslim ambassadors now in the UK. We've got 2 ambassadors that are UK ambassadors that are Muslims. Never had that before. So we made lots and lots. We've more than doubled the aid to the Palestinian Authority. We've got so much going on in terms of the Muslim community. It is unbelievable. So we're doing a lot.
But let me ask you now, because unfortunately, just as the Muslims here in America are facing a lot of stereotypes and issues, what are some of the issues they are facing in the UK? Because we know we have now this infamous case of what's going on. How are you helping to combat that negative stereotype and really put the truth about Islam forward?
Well, I say quite point blank, and people might not appreciate this, that the people who committed the terrorist atrocity of 7/7, for example, are not Muslims martyrs going to heaven. They are sinners that probably will go to hell. And we've got to be very honest about that. We've got to say that these people don't represent Islam at all. They only represent evil. And evil has no religion. And evil is amongst